Welcome back, guys, to MDCU News. And first of all, I'd like to say that I actually hate that name. So if you do too, no, you're not alone. And I may or may not be rebranding later. But yes, if welcome back. And if you are one of my lovely 56 subscribers, you may have noticed that I have not posted a video in 4 months. But the reasons actually tie into a lot of the thematic elements that we saw throughout Loki. So I'm going to be making this video a little bit about why I was gone if you care, but also more likely what you care about, a review on Loki as a show. So as a fan of everything superhero and a person who likes to talk a lot, I've always dreamed of being able to share my opinions, thoughts, theories, and sometimes critiques on my favorite superhero movies and content. So right before WandaVision came out, I decided to put out my very first YouTube video on my thoughts of the Marvel multiverse theory and the direction that Phase 4 was going in. And it was great. I loved the editing process. I loved talking about things I liked. I enjoyed the whole experience. But eventually, I fell into a pitfall. The desires for success, and for YouTube, that meant waking up at 3 a.m. to catch the episode as soon as I can, not eating so I could put it out as soon as possible, and editing the thumbnail to try to make it the catchiest possible. And I would put in all this effort for sometimes my videos to still flop in the end, like badly. And so I figured I couldn't keep up with what I needed to have the perfect channel. If I couldn't have the perfect channel, then there was no point. So I quit. But then Loki came out. And from the very first episode, Loki, the central theme or a central theme of Loki was you don't have a glorious purpose. Here we have Loki Laufeyson, who was this grandeur character who always swore and knew within like the core of his being that he was destined to be great. He was destined for a glorious purpose. All in one, like, what was it, 40-minute episode, to realize that's a sham and that his own life didn't even revolve around him and that instead he was destined to die. And that's kind of grim. But it's the reality. Not everybody is destined to be glorious, to be the quote unquote main character. And so that helped me to realize that in my short lived journey on YouTube, I was more focused on a glory of purpose of being as big as new rock stars and getting invited to Marvel premieres that I forgot to just have fun with making the videos, which I had set out this whole thing to do. And in the end, after Loki met all these failed versions of himself who fell into the same demise of trying to strive for this glorious purpose, when King offered him this deal, this ultimatum, this choice, he realized that the glorious purpose, the throne, his success, wasn't as important to him as Sylvie was, as the things that he actually enjoyed. And that's a lesson we all can learn from, whether it be in life or passion projects. If the end goal, our glorious purpose of trying to achieve success, ends up muddling the fun and joy that we had in the activity or in whatever journey we're going to, maybe it's time to let that glorious purpose go. So from now on, when it comes to making YouTube videos, I'm not going to be holding myself to a rigorous editing standard or even a script to try to make everything sound, look at that, I just stuttered right there, to try to make everything sound perfect. Instead, I'm just going to get on here, I'm going to talk about what I like, I'm going to make it presentable, and I'm going to put it out in the world because that's what I like to do, and whatever comes from it or after it, then I'll be grateful for whatever I get.